Welcome back. Former prosecutor Jack Smith is now being investigated by the Office of the Special Counsel. You may remember Smith led two Department of Justice criminal cases that looked at President Trump's handling of classified documents and alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. President Trump pleaded not guilty and denied wrongdoing. Both cases were dropped after President Trump was re-elected. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen has more on this. This is quite the development, Jake. Good morning. And to be clear for our viewers, Smith is a former special counsel, but this investigation is being led by a different federal body. Explain that, and what is the justification?
Well, that's right. The Office of Special Counsel investigates things like the Hatch Act, which is what Smith is being investigated for in this case. The Hatch Act was passed in the 1930s, and in essence what it does, Errol, as we've covered repeatedly throughout the Trump administration and Biden administration in the last couple of years, is that it stops federal workers from using their federal positions to advocate for political positions. That this can be said if a spokesperson goes to the White House podium, for instance, and says something about an ongoing campaign, right? In this case, however, Senator Tom Cotton has really raised a big deal out of this to the point where now there is an ongoing investigation. And Cotton called in a tweet earlier last week in which he said that because Jack Smith made court filings going in the last 60 days before the election, in which he wanted speedy trial dates and had ongoing, obviously, briefing from he and his team of special prosecutors who were investigating President Trump for his actions on January 6th and in the classified documents probe, that he basically, in essence, from his position as a federal prosecutor, was engaged in political speak and political action from a government role. The maximum penalty for this, Errol, is typically some kind of removal from office or a fine, although we know that Jack Smith did resign before President Trump took over, so it's unclear what specifically the penalty would be in this case.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you a bit more about that. This special counsel has no criminal enforcement powers. So you mentioned a removal from office. He's no longer in government. You mentioned a fine. If he is found to have violated the Hatch Act, which you've laid out, would that really be the worst of it?
That would very likely be the worst of it. And at the end of the day, as you'll remember from President Trump's first administration, in which a number of people who worked for him were investigated for Hatch Act violations, President Trump essentially put the kibosh on these people getting actual penalties after they were found guilty of violating the Hatch Act. Again, to take one big step back here, Earl, President Trump also fired the head of the special counsel's office, who in businesses, not just Hatch Act investigations, also works on protecting whistleblowers at the federal level. That kind of step of removal and impartisan behavior is gone, and there is a nomination pending in the Senate right now for a Trump ally to take that over, although he has not been confirmed yet.
All right, Jake Rosen in our D.C. bureau with the scoop on all of that. Thank you, Jake.